Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson here. Welcome to the Buffalo Stampede, the at-home edition. Joined now by the head coach of the Buffaloes, Karl Dorrell. Coach, how you get along through this craziness we're living through?
Well, you take it a day at a time, and you keep staying on task to the things you need to get done. We're recruiting. We're still doing our virtual meetings with our players. We're doing a lot of stuff to kind of keep us busy. But I think the best thing about it, if we are getting a chance to catch up from a recruiting standpoint of knowing who we're on to target. I've been making a bunch of calls, text messages, things like that. So we're keeping busy.
Yeah, how much of a challenge has this been, though? I mean, when you got to campus, you put a staff together. You got, about a week and a half maybe with the guys before all this kind of started. This has got to be a great challenge for you right off the start.
Well, it's definitely been interesting. I laugh about it because this has never occurred in my career that for something like this to happen. But no, let alone our country dealing with this. But we're all dealing with this. I mean, it's a serious issue. It's something that we should be vitally concerned about. What I do for a living and this job, that's really secondary to really what our country's dealing with. So. I put things in that perspective. I'm just trying to do my job within the limits that's been put on me the best way that I can so we can continue to move forward. Our coaches, our players, we're preparing them as if we're going to play this season. We're recruiting guys with the intention of them being a part of our program and selling that part of it. So we continue to move on, but it is definitely a challenge for everybody. The work style is different, just like our players, the training style is different, the school, obviously that's remote. So everybody's learning and adapting to this new way of life right now.
I know every day you and your coaches are getting on Zoom calls and talking to one another and going over, your offenses and defenses and kind of how you're going to run your program. That's one thing. But as a head coach, and you've talked about this, your job's to shepherd a group of young men. Talk about the communication you're having with them and how that's working with all of your players.
It's gotten better. There was a struggle on the onset when we started this whole process. Even for us, preparing information for meetings and doing PowerPoints and video, and that was a learning curve for us to do remotely. It's always been easier when you're in a classroom setting and you show the video on the screen and you have your blackboard and you can kind of make all those three things work. But I guess on this setting now we're using Zoom. It's either you do one or the other. You can't do them all at once. But it's been a little bit of a challenge for us just in our preparation. And I think it's been a challenge for our players too, just because it's different. We're not in person. It's better to have eye contact with those guys, as you're talking to them. We're not getting that because we're staring at a computer, those things like that. So, it's a new way of how we're learning and how we're teaching. I think it's gotten better, though. I think we're getting used to the process. Our players are still giving us feedback and asking questions. We're able still to test them and kind of, keep them current with what we're doing. So it is a process that we've kind of gradually start to learn and get a little bit better, week by week as we go.
How about the physical aspect of this? I mean, there's not gyms open where guys are at, so they can't go and work out. I know your strength coach, Coach Wilson, is trying to get those guys different workouts and kind of guiding them that way. That's got to be a little bit of a challenge as well, I would think.
Well, we have to be creative. Just like us coaches, we got to be creative in what we're presenting and in ways that our guys can retain it. So that's one thing from our standpoint. And I think our players are doing the same thing from a workout standpoint. Not all of them have the weights, all the stuff that they need to create a great workout. And I think Coach Wilson has done a great job. Each day, he's pushed out something early in the morning just for them to at least get a chance to do some sort of workout. Sometimes it's minimal weight, sometimes it's no weight, it's body weight only. Sometimes it's a stretching routine. So he's trying to stimulate their minds about still being active, still staying in shape. The biggest part is conditioning. The strength gains, that's going to be the challenging part because not everybody has access to a weight room. So I think I've told the team this: do the best they can, stay in great shape. We know that it's not going to be a perfect scenario for any of us right now, but let's do as best we can with what we have.
Coach, one thing we've got going on here at the University of Colorado on the social media side is the helmet bracket challenge. And we got to get your pick on which helmet that you're going to choose out of that bracket that you think is going to win that tournament.
It's a great tournament. I see. I do see I'm from an era in the 90s. We only had one helmet. So, but our helmets were the gold helmet, which was a beautiful helmet. It's still my favorite helmet. And I love the Buffalo emblem with the CU in it. And there were some really good uniform ideas that we did back then that I think was really good that really pertains to now is, we at times at home games would wear the black jersey and the black pants and black shoes and, everything's blacked out except for the gold helmet. And it kind of popped like, wow, that's a nice looking uniform. So that's really my all-time favorite when that special occasion when we're playing, at those times it was Nebraska or Kansas State or Oklahoma or something like that. But I think that uniform combination with that gold helmet, that's a beautiful thing. So I'm still going with the gold helmet with the Buffalo with the CU in it.
Well, you're not going to get the argument from me. I'm all about that classic look as well. Coach, great catching up with you. I know you guys will keep kind of soldiering through, and I can't wait till you guys get back in the field here shortly.
I tell you what, Mark, we can't wait either. So we're just counting down the days. I know our players are excited about what's in front of us, and we got to be patient through the process and just keep working, and eventually football will be played.
That is the head coach of the Buffaloes, Karl Dorrell. I'm voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us this time on the Buffalo Stampede at Home Edition.